us on tour.
Yeah.
But he's just that guy.
Wow.
He is
Okay.
just that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, Willie says, whatever play Glenn calls, we do it.
Okay.
But he does it right. Does it well. He teaches his people. Our national sales director, Michael Crawford, sat down with Winnie and me on Thursday night at the convention. We had our SNSD, Kip Ridley, who makes $2 million a year. Kip's a legend in the company. Kip has lung cancer. I don't know if we're going to keep Kip much longer, but he loves to spend money on us. And so we rented this big place, and all kind of food, and he gave out the shirt I'm wearing. The shirt they gave me that day says Ridley International.
Okay.
They gave everybody a shirt. What size you wear here? And other sort of things. But Kip, anyway, Michael sat down with us at dinner, had a nice chat with him, and I mentioned Billy Naranjo getting the $6 million ring. He crossed over $7 million this week. We're going to have to make a new ring for him. He's getting a new ring every add $1 million to his cash flow every. Bill Whittle's one of my heroes. Bill talked about they talked about how Willie's going to have, I forget how much, by the next convention. And Bill said, no, they're wrong. By the next convention, Willie is going to be earning $1 million a month.
Wow.
And I don't doubt it. And here's the way. Here's how he says to do it. You recruit and license. It's not just recruit. It's recruit and license. Yes. And Willie, Sam had a recruit. Good girl. I liked her very well. But she took her life insurance license and went out to all of her broke friends and sold life insurance policies, which they couldn't afford to keep. And so she got, the cash advance up front, and then the policy went under, and so Primerica wanted the advance back, and she put her and Sam and Eric in a big chargeback because she did it wrong.
Did it all wrong.
You write quality business.
Yeah, quality business.
That means if they're married, if they have children, if they're over 25, if they're working and making
over 25.
If they have a family income of $40,000, that's total family income. And if they own a home, that's the 5.
Okay.
If they have all 5, that means that the chances of the policy sticking are best.
Better.
That's our sweet spot.
Okay.
If they only have 4, it drops a little bit. If they only have 3, don't take the app.
If they only have 3?
If they only have 3, don't take the app. In fact, Hector says if they only have 3, you don't even go on the appointment.
Okay.
If they want to talk to us, have them come to the office. Go out there, have them come to the office.
Got it. Okay.
And it's not because we can't help them. It's because they're not going to receive our help. There are exceptions, but you don't build your business on exceptions.
Right.
So anyway, Willie says you recruit and license. Art Williams, I brought a book to show you. You can get this book on POL. It's the A.L. Williams Way. Art Williams wrote this before we were Primerica, back when we were A.L. Williams.
Okay.
And it's the best book in the world. Now, everything in here does not apply anymore because the company has grown and changed. But the principles Art has are magnificent. Art says our goal, every time we recruit somebody, we want a license. That doesn't happen. We talk about the Primerica Witness Protection Program. People who take the app, $99 app fee, $25 for POL. They spend $124, and then you never see them again. They vanish. And you'll hear some of these $1 million earners talk about taking a called IBA, call it, independent business app. They take the IBA and before they get to the car, they've already. He's had people call him from the car on the way home, quit.
Wow.
That happens, okay? That's just the truth. That happens. And when it happens, it doesn't mean you did something wrong. That's just exactly. But Art said, you got to license 50% of them. If you don't license 50% of them, you're not doing it right.
Okay.
Either you're recruiting in the wrong market, three points or less, or you're not building a relationship, a trusting relationship with them. You license 50%. Willie Naranjo, now you got his base shop and the RVPs under him. Now all the RVPs under him, we call that through first. That's your first generation. You heard Brad talking about through third. That's RVPs under RVPs under RVPs. Willie said you will make $1 million a year for every 1,000 licensed recruits you have through first. Yeah, it is. It is. You recruit a lot of people. You license as many as you can. You teach them how to do it right. What Michael Crawford, our NSD, was telling me is what Willie does, and why he's so good at this. He's not just recruiting everybody who comes in, and he's not just putting license. He's teaching them how to do the business. You take an app. Sometimes Primerica, the underwriters look at the app and they don't. We can't license this person. This person's too good to insure. That's a chargeback.
Wow.
The money you got advanced, they want it back.
Yeah.
They want it back.
Yeah.
And so that happens. You can't help that. They had some health problem they didn't know about, and that's going to happen. We give them 30 days from the time they get the policy to say, I don't want it for any reason whatsoever. Those are not taken. The state of Georgia gives you 10, Primerica gives you 30.
Okay.
We triple what the state of Georgia. You're right. You're paying attention. That's exactly right.
Yeah, we said 30.
No, that's right. That's the law in Georgia. Primerica gives you 30.
Yeah.
And I tell my clients that, we do better than the law. They got 30 days to say, never mind. And if they do that, that's a chargeback.
Wow. 30 days.
But here's the deal. You want 9 out of 10 to be issued. So you do your best to write good business. You want to do it in such a way that they're going to keep the policy. 9 out of 10 are going to keep it. They take the percentage taken, the percentage issued, and multiply that times the percentage taken. And you want at least 90% issued and 90% taken. They multiply that together. That's your QBI. That's 81. That's a QBI. That's 81% Quality Business Index.
Okay.
And with all of his thousands of agents through first, Willie maintains a QBI of 80 or better. He does it right. That's how he does it. Now, Primerica is so much more than financial services. I mean, you could get your MD. You're an MD. You're an expert. You're brilliant. But if you don't have any patience, big deal, right? You can get your life license, your health license, 6, 63, 26, 65, variable annuities, all those. I got them all. But if you don't have clients, big deal. You've got to be able to get clients. Okay? That's your personal. And as a general rule, the vast majority of us, Eric is that rare exception. The vast majority of us are never going to be able to make more than $50,000 a year off personal production. Okay?
That's not including having that team. That's just
No, that's just you.
Yeah, that's
Off of your own.
Okay.
We're talking about off your own pen. The vast majority of us can do off our own pen is 50,000. That's, there are exceptions.
There are some exceptions.
Oh yeah, a lot of them. But like I say, you can't go on exceptions.
I got you.
You need a team.
Okay.
When you get a new recruit, I'm teaching you what I was going to show you Hector's thing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Very good. Anyway, when you get a new recruit, this is what the big boys say, the people who are making $1 million. When you get a new recruit, you get them in the field within 48 hours. You get them to get a training appointment with their best friend within 48 hours. They haven't got a license yet. They can't get paid for anything yet. But they need to see immediately how this works.
Okay.
They need to see the presentation. They need to see how really, in so many ways, easy it is to make money. If you can get them in the field in 48 hours, you can keep them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But if they've been working on licenses and not making any money for 7-8 months, they're gone. You've got to make money if you're going to stay around here.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got to see, they can't make money on those field training appointments.
Okay.
But they can see that they can. And then when you're a trainer and you're doing field training appointments, that's when you make money. And then when they're field trainers, you're making overrides. You can, but they absolutely positively need to learn how to make appointments. I have a script from Ian Pruckner. Now, Ian was $1 million earner. Ian left Primerica because he doesn't want to do financial services anymore. He wants to be a coach, helping people.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So that's what Ian's doing these days. I met Ian at the convention in Indianapolis 6-8 years ago, and damn it, he's tall, he's handsome, he's got a beautiful wife, and he's a nice guy. You just can't even hate him,
Wow.
He went from zero to $1 million a year in 10 years.
Wow.
10 years.
Wow.
Now, you heard Susan Carey, I'm talking about Mario and Franny Arizon. Mario signed on at 19, and he was making $1 million a year 9 years later. Mario is a very enthusiastic man.
Wow.
I hear you. Well, if you hear Mario's story, he had a hellish childhood and teen years. It was awful. And it's funny how the ones who have gone through hell are the ones who, end up. No, that's another guy, Barragon. Barragon? That's his name, Danny Barragon? Anyway, I've lost his name that fast. I'm sorry. The last convention, they gave their full story, and she was talking about her brain tumor and all that they went through. Oh, it didn't break the heart. But anyway, Mario did 9 years. Now, there is this young woman from Detroit. Her name is Mika Saunders. Again, Mika is one of those people who'd be so easy to hate. She's beautiful. And she's a shapely young lady. She was a model. She was a registered nurse when she came to work with us. Mika went from 0 to $1 million a year in 72 months, 6 years. That's the record. To $1 million a year in 6 years. And I don't mean 6 years and 3 months. I mean 72 months. I mean 6 years on the dot. On the dot. And if you ever get a chance to listen to Mika, she's amazing. And she's easy on the eyes, too, which I'm afraid I'm old male chauvinist. That doesn't hurt. But you do not make $1 million a year on your own head. The only way you can make
On your own. Okay.
you cannot. The only way you can do it is to build a team. And the way to build a team is you need to say, you need to help them make $1 million a year. If you want to make $1 million a year, you find somebody and teach them how to make $1 million a year.
Okay.
Art Williams, our founder, wrote the greatest book you will ever read. It's called Pushing Up People,
Okay.
in which Art says, if you give your people for the tiniest fraction of a second the impression that you're not treating them right, you got to watch your back all the time. That's American business. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Pushing up people, and you can go on POL to the company store or the Primerica store, one or the other, and you can get that book.
Okay.
You can get this book, there it is. You can get A.L. Williams' Way. Art wrote his autobiography. It's called Coach. You can get Coach there too, and frankly, I recommend those books without reservation. When they talk about readers and teachers, whatever you're reading, whatever you're filling your brain with, that's what we're thinking. And I recommend those books. In fact, I got a reading list that I'll get y'all of books that you need to be reading. I want to recommend that you go to a site called Hector LaMarque. You will see the LaMarque system. It's going to cost you $25, but it is the best thing that you can possibly get. And here's the deal. In Primerica, you are your tool. That's what does it. It's you. And you need to invest in yourself. That's why I wish so much people go to convention. It costs us $150 a piece to go to convention. I mean, and that, for us ordinary folk, that's a lot of money. But I tell people, you have 4 days in the Georgia World Congress Center and the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Where else can you get that for $150?
You pay that a night.
Yeah, or you know, a minute, yeah, just about. We do fast start schools. It's $20 a ticket for an all-day event. Invest in yourself. The LaMarque system includes a workbook, and I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna share that with the studio audience. Exactly. Hector is going to make you a professional salesperson. Tom Hopkins' book, How to Master the Art of Selling. Now, 30 years ago or 40 years ago, Tom Hopkins did a series of audio tapes, and it's 40 years old. And you know, and you can tell because they don't. We're talking about Palm Pilots and not cell phones, and cassette tapes instead of DVD, that kind of thing. But it's the best thing in the world, and I've got that digitally, and I think I might can email that to y'all without getting thrown in jail. And I will. Hector listened to Tom Hopkins 2 or 3 hours a day for 3 years. Those 12, because that's a half hour piece, over and over and over. And Hopkins is everything. Let me give you a Hopkinsism. Number one, you never argue with potential clients. You never argue with them. You know more about financial services than they do, and they say something stupid. You don't ever say, that was stupid. And you don't say, you don't want to do that. No, don't say that. What you say is, you know, I bet you got a good reason. Well, tell me why have you said that. And listen to their answer.
Okay.
And, for instance, Eric is always saying, don't pay off the house. Don't pay off the house. Don't pay off the house. And I've seen people tremble with anger when we get into that argument. It's not don't pay off the house. I understand. You want the security paying off the house. But let me ask you a question. Which would you rather have? Would you rather have a paid off house or a paid off house and money?
Okay.
And you can go from there. You never argue with a client you know a lot more about the field than they do. You can win the argument, but you've lost the fight.
Okay.
Because people don't buy intellectually. They buy emotionally. And if they have any brains at all, they use their brains to come up with good reasons why they ought to have what they decided they want. That's Hopkins. Now, there's a guy named Ronnie Barnes. Ronnie was the first person ever to make $1 million a year. But Ronnie, when he first started in the business, they'd have Saturday morning class from 9 to 11 at his RVP shop. He would have his team meet him at 8. And he'd have his little team meet before. And Ronnie, one of the people he brought in is Cheryl Bartlett, who's out of California. If Cheryl offered me the opportunity, I would divorce my wife and marry Cheryl. I think Winnie knows that. I adore Cheryl so much. Yep, that's right. That's right. Cheryl was a cheerleader. Ronnie was a football coach at Warner Robins High School.
Okay.
And Cheryl was a cheerleader at that time. And Cheryl said, Ronnie Barnes is the fizz in the Coke.
Okay.
He's that guy. And extraordinary. When Ronnie was a teacher, Ronnie signed on, and it was A.L. Williams, not Primerica then. Yeah, Ronnie worked a summer with A.L. Williams. Summer school. Well, there was no school. He was out of school. And he made more money in the 2.5 months of summer with A.L. Williams than he made in a year in teaching. His advancement, persistency, and overrides. And when you click advanced, and basic requirements, and that pulls up a PDF which will show you how we get promoted in Primerica. Now, when you're building a team, let me teach you something wonderful. Virtually 0 people out of 100 want to sell life insurance. And virtually 0 want to do investments. Virtually 0 people out there want to sell financial services, okay? I mean, you can't sell that to anybody in the world except maybe Eric. He's the only one in the world who wants to do that. Well, if you can show them the money, they might be willing to do financial services. And what Primerica offers in our business, the 2 O's, this is what you sell people: overrides and ownership. Overrides and ownership. And when this chart comes up, it's going to show you, and let's just talk life insurance now. When you first get your life license and you're a rep with Primerica, that's you're just in the door now, you get paid 25%. The average family is going to do the life policy you're going to write. The average family is going to be $1,000 annual premium. That's the average. And you get 25% of that. And Primerica will advance you 75% of your 25%. Take the app, and you're going to have that money in your hand in a couple of days if you do direct deposit. The family policy, cover mom and dad and the kids. The average is going to be about $1,000 a year. That's the average.
Okay.
Anyway, and you're going to make $250 total. What happens is, after that policy has been on the books for 9 months, they're going to pay you the other 25%. You get a rep write a $1,000 policy, and they get $250, you're going to get $100, and you're not even there. That's called overrides. That's the brilliance of Primerica. Now, if your whole team, you and all your downlines, do $2,500 worth of annual premium in 1 month period, and one of your reps goes to senior rep. you are now a district leader. Everything above senior rep requires, and this is the way Primerica works, and this is the brilliance of Primerica, production and recruiting. That's what we call building. You're not just making money off clients. You're not just selling. You're building a team and teaching them to build a team. You start a perpetual motion machine if you do it right. And by the way, here's the secret. Your downlines can never suspect that they work for you. They have to believe that you work for them. It's my job to make you money. It's my job to help you build a team. It's my job to make you an RVP. That's what this is all about. Your downlines have got to believe that you work for them. And that's Art's book, Pushing Up People. That's what we're all about, is pushing up people. So, district leader, you got a senior rep, $2,500 in production, you're at a 50% contract. If you get one of your senior rep to go district, and your whole team, and you got a bunch of people we're talking about, $5,000 premium in a month, you're a division leader. You're at a 60% contract. Build up 3 more district leaders, and your whole team does $7,500, you're a regional leader now. You're at a 70% contract. At that point, if you want to open your own office, Eric will promote you senior regional leader, and you're at 85%. You get yourself 6 district leaders and do $10,000, well, $20,000 over 2 months. That's important to understand. You can't do 5,000 and 15,000. You've got to do at least 8,000 both those months. A total of $20,000 over premium over 2 months. You are a regional vice president. You have to be full-time to be an RV. You have a lot of privileges. You've got a lot of responsibilities. You are now making 110%. In other words, if you write a $1,000 life policy, you're going to get paid $1,100. But if you got a brand new rep that does one, they're going to make $250. You're going to make $800. Now, Primerica created that position and pays you that much so that you don't have to be out producing your own stuff all the time, so that you can be free to help your downlines. That's what RVP is all about. And Art Williams, our founder, in the A.L. Williams way, says the purpose of RVPs is to build RVPs. That's what an RVP is there for, to build more RVPs. Now, if you get 3 RVPs under you and a certain amount of production, you are a senior vice president. By the way, you're an RVP, I'm an RVP, well, you be the RVP. You're the RVP, you promote me RVP. Oh, when you become RVP, you have to leave 3 districts with your RVP. They take half your team. Replacement leg. But you're my RVP, you got 3 of my districts, you will always get paid 15% of my life production, as long as you and I are in business together. Now, you make senior vice president, that goes up a little bit. You get 3 more direct RVPs, you're a national sales director, goes up a little bit. You get a total of 9 RVPs direct to you. You're a senior national sales director. And the SNSD position is designed to be $1 million a year. RVP is designed to be $100,000. SNSD is designed to be $1 million a year. SNSD, Senior National Sales Director. Rick Susan lives in Lake Las Vegas, Nevada. He built a mansion in Lake Las Vegas, Nevada. The garage on his mansion has more square feet than the house he grew up in. Rick will tell you that the only reason they graduated him from high school is they were tired of the bad influence he was on other students. Raised in Ohio. Went out to California, nearly starved to death, got a job as a caddy in a golf course, making, teeny tiny little money. But he was caddying this rich guy who owned a bunch of jewelry stores, and the guy liked Rick and asked Rick if he wanted to come work for him in a jewelry store. Well, Rick became a manager of a jewelry store. Another manager of another one of their jewelry stores was Hector LaMarque. And Hector kept asking Rick, you want to come to work with me? Nah, I'm doing fine, leave me alone. But Hector kept asking. Well, one Christmas, Rick looked at his check, and the Christmas bonus he got was like half of what they promised him. And he got mad and went to the owners. And the owners said, Rick, you should just thank God you got a job. And Rick called Hector and said, tell me about this Primerica thing you did. When Rick first went to work with Hector, Hector had to calm him down every day, hold his hand every day tell him, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Yeah, there's a lot of that, there really is. Well, Rick became an RVP. The first year Rick was an RVP, he made between $300,000 and $400,000. Now, nobody does that in 1 year, but Rick did. And Rick worked 16, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 years. And at the end of 4 years, his override income was so much more than he needed. He quit. I mean, he didn't quit Primerica, but he quit building the next shop. He's making $2 or $3 million a year now, and he hadn't done a thing in 20 years, 30 years. He was 29 years old when he retired. Now, you heard me say he worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 years. You know, he killed it for 4 years, but then he had this thing built up. And he spoke at something several years ago, and he said, I get up in the morning and I go, I think I'm going to the gym. No, maybe I'll go play golf. I don't know, maybe I'll go to the office. And he'd turn to his wife and say, honey, you want to go to Hawaii? He lived in California. He built in a mansion in Nevada. He's the head of a multi-million-dollar organization, and he built the mansion and moved into it, and he said, you know what? I might ought to tell the home office I moved. That's the way our company works. Where else in the world can you start $1 million a year business for $99 and maintain it for $25 a month? And Willie's got a downline named Miguel Village. Crazy. So Willie, Miguel had, I don't know how long Miguel has been in the business, but he wears the $3 million one. And now, you know, these are hardworking people. They're go-getters. You know, they work very, very hard. But we're gonna talk about how they got there.
We were struggling. You know, I come from South Central Los Angeles, where the cost of living goes up and the chance of living goes down. You know, and when me and Pat got married, I lived in the inner city. Thank God for great parents. My parents gave us a home, but it was in the hood. And it seemed like every day there was some type of black-on-black crime. Gangs, drugs, crack houses every 3 doors. And I was praying, Lord, I got to get out of this neighborhood. I got to get out of this neighborhood. Walking to the store, I could lose my life. And so I was working as a paramedic. I DJ'd in the clubs. I became a member of the National Academy of Recording Arts and Science. I go to Grammy Awards every single year as Cinderfella, where I go to Grammys and people are dressed nice and limousines and red carpets. And I knew when that Grammy's over, I got to go back to the hood and take off that rented tuxedo. But I would say to myself, I want to live like this forever. So as U2 song says, I run through the field. I've crawled. I've climbed these city walls. But I still hadn't found what I was looking for. 1987, that song came out. August of 87, God bless, I happened to be home. My cousin came by, offered me $20 to go with her to a meeting. She's an evangelist to this day, and I thought she wanted me to go to church, so I told her no. Not anti-church, I'm a preacher's kid. I was just on vacation. But then when she offered me $20, I said, hallelujah, God is good.
Vacation over.
And I took that $20 thinking I'm going to go to church. And I walked into this meeting. And they're talking about financial services and financial literacy. And I'm totally turned off. I'm a music guy. I'm not a logical guy. I'm not a left brain. I'm right brain. I'm a creator. But I remember going to the schools in the valley when my parents bused me out from the inner city out to the suburbs. And I see all these kids with cars, and the schools that I went to in what they call the valley, they have the teachers' parking lot and the kids' parking lot. And the kids' cars look better than teachers. They had open campus where you can go off the campus and get real food. In the inner city, we don't have that. And I would say to myself, what do these kids' parents do that my parents is not doing? Why do they have cars and we don't? Why do they have these nice houses with swimming pools and we don't? This guy's my age, that means his parents is probably my parents' age. They grew up probably in the same era. I thought rich people were having meetings that they wouldn't let poor people go to. I would always think that. My cousin gave me $20. I go into a room. I see all these people that don't look like me. And they're talking about financial services. Totally out of my lane. They could have been speaking Chinese. I would have understood them better. But because she gave me $20, she took me to that meeting, I did not leave. And thank God I didn't, because the last 8 minutes of that meeting, now during the meeting they kept saying, you can make 6 figures a year. You can make 6 figures a year. You can make 6 figures a year. Folks, I'm embarrassed to tell you, but at 24 years old, I did not know what 6 figures meant. I was embarrassed to ask somebody, what are you guys talking about? And finally I asked, like, what is 6 figures? They said, well, that's $100,000 a year. And then they showed a video of the founder of the company, Art Williams, an 8-minute video. And that video touched my soul. It was 8 minutes. He wasn't talking about financial services. He was just talking about winning in life. At that point in my life, I was full. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted a chance to get out of the hood. And here's this guy from South Georgia, and he said, a lot in that video, he said, changed my life.
Yeah.
In his voice,
K-Road.
he said, we don't care who you are. We don't care where you're from. We'll give you a chance to be somebody.
Almost what he said.
And I go, I don't know what this dude is, but I want to be somebody. He said, we don't care who you are. I'm black. I'm African American. He said, we don't care where you're from. I'm from the hood. So we get a chance to be somebody. He said, folks, don't let anybody tell you can't do anything. In America, with the free enterprise system, you can be anything you want to be. Just try. And the video went off. I said, I'm quitting my job tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'm not waiting a week. I'm not waiting a month. I'm not giving 3 weeks notice. Because if this is the founder, and he's on video saying that, I'm going to hold him to it. Because what if he dies tomorrow and the new founder don't say the same thing? So I joined the company, quit my job. I went over and told my wife, honey, wake up. We're going to be rich. She said, where'd you go? Because in my neighborhood, you can go around the corner and get rich. I thought you went to church. I go, I didn't go to church. So where'd you go? I went to some meetings. I'm going to quit my job tomorrow. So what do they do? I said, I don't even know. I didn't listen to that part. But they said, come back Saturday. And I quit my job on Tuesday. With a great supportive wife, great leadership like the great Hector LaMarque is in the room. My coach is here today. We built a phenomenal organization. We have 42 RVPs. We have a Hall of Famer, a $1 million earner. I'm here to tell you folks, I want to repeat after me. I found it. I found it.
Found it.
See, folks, I don't have to sing that song anymore because I found it. And you found it. But you got to realize that this weekend, before you go home, make a mental decision. And that decision has to be made alone. You got to say, I found it. This is it. If you don't make that decision, the devil will take your doubt and make it the size of the Grand Canyon. You got to make sure you believe in yourself. Nothing else matters if you don't believe in you. Today we're multi-millionaires. Yes, I've been paid over $23 million. But don't forget that $20 Bertha gave me. I turned 20 into $23 million. And yes, I paid Bertha back.
Good boy.
I want to thank this great company. I want to thank Glenn Williams, Peter Snyder, Bobby Peterman, Julie Seaman, Camila Cutliff, and all the leaders that are here, all my millionaire friends. I love you. I love you to death. Patricia Cornegay, Gary and Keishana, my grandbaby, my daughter. I'll see you at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. And never look down another man unless you're reaching down to pick him up. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Put the coffee down. Coffee's for closers. You know, that's a great line from a great movie, and I said it so many times to people in our base shop over the years. You have to learn to sell. Hector said it last night. You've got to learn how to close, or you won't be here 3 years from now. You've got to make money. Isn't it awesome to have Hector back? And also, if you haven't seen, he's on POL right now with his 7 fundamentals. I think of the dark days early on in my office. After Saturday training, I would sit there alone and I would wonder, is this ever going to happen? Am I ever going to have a breakthrough here? And if it wasn't for cassette tapes of Hector, Rick, and Shane Rudman, there's no way I would have made it. In fact, early on, I had a mantra that was WWHD. Whenever I got stuck, I would say to myself, WWHD, what would Hector do? And I studied and listened to him so much, I knew exactly what he would do when he got stuck. Today, I give our team these bracelets. They're WWMD. What would Miguel do? Right? It's put a paper in the jar or sleep in your car. And at minus 30 degrees in Canada, that's a serious punishment. Not so much in Miami. Now listen. If you've been here a while and you're not having an unbelievable explosive success like you seem to see all these people having, don't worry. You cannot go back and start your beginning again, but you can start today and change your ending, right? So do you realize what time it is right now? It's Wall of Wealth o'clock. Let me ask you a question. Who here has a mutual fund license, securities license? Who's got it? You have got to get your securities license. So let me ask you, who is the most important person in Primerica? Now listen, I agree, the new recruit is very important. But who's the most important person in Primerica? Now I know, listen, Glenn, Peter, Bobby, Julie, very important people, but the most important person in Primerica, now I know what you're thinking, it's got to be Omar. Omar's thinking that for sure. And as much as I love my good buddy Omar, I don't think he's the most important person in Primerica. The most important person in Primerica is our clients. It's the people we serve, the people who trust us to protect their families or help manage their money. It's the people we protect with our advice, our knowledge, and our education. It's the widows who can take care of their kids after they lose a spouse and an income stream, and the seniors who now can retire with dignity because of us. See, this is not a job. It's not a career. It's not even a business. This is a righteous cause we're involved in. Do you know that the greatest risk your clients will ever face is not premature death? Now, some do die prematurely. We pay a lot of death claims. And we protect them with the best insurance in the marketplace today. But the greatest risk your clients will ever face is that they may outlive their money. Do you know more people today are living to the age of 100 years old than any other time in history? That's why buy term and invest the difference is our peanut butter and chocolate. They go together. So you've got to get your securities license so you can fully protect your clients with the greatest risk they're going to face and also build long-term passive income for your family. Listen, last month our team crossed over $1 billion in AUM. Although that sounds like a big number, honestly, it's just a drop in the ocean right now of what's available. Our company manages $100 billion for our clients, and although that sounds like a big number, it is a drop in the ocean of what's available. When I started in 1988, we used to do our opportunity meetings, and we would talk about the baby boomers. Everything the baby boomers touch turned gold. If you wanted to be successful, just look at what the baby boomers are going to need in the future and provide that, and you can't lose, right? Right from baby food and diapers to fast food and Mustangs and houses. And we used to talk about this great wall of wealth that was coming when the baby boomers started retiring and passing their incredible amounts of wealth to their kids. Here we are right now. We are in the midst of this right at this moment. Experts tell us this is the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. Somewhere in the next 20 years, somewhere between 68 to 128 trillion dollars is going to change hands. That's 68,000 billion dollars. And we manage 100 billion of the 68,000 billion that's available. I know $1 trillion is difficult to grasp. Let me help you out. 1 trillion seconds is 32,000 years. If you stacked a $1 trillion bills end to end, they would stretch 97 million miles farther than the sun. If you took a military jet and flew it at the speed of sound and it was reeling out dollar bills, it would take 14 years to hit $1 trillion. And they're telling us 68 to 128 trillion is going to change hands. You are exactly in the right place at the right time with the right company in the right countries in history. This is the golden age of the financial services industry. For as long as back when cavemen were trading shells for wheat, the financial service industry started and has been around, and this is the greatest moment of all time in that industry. So get your securities license. Here's a simple plan that I try and help people follow. Develop a 5 to stay alive prospecting strategy. Go out and make sure every Monday morning you show up with at least 10 appointments booked, new client appointments booked. Develop 10 new clients, say, a month until you hit 50 million of personal AUM. Recruit 3 to 4 direct every single month until you have 100 licensed agents in your business. And if you can just help 19 people follow that game plan, you will get to $1 billion of AUM yourself in this wall of wealth. And $1 billion is $1 million, Gordy Bohannon told me. Listen, our goal right now is to race to $10 billion through third. That would change a lot of families. And listen, don't worry. You're like, that's a complicated business, Brad, getting a security. I'm just concerned. How am I going to learn this? Every Thursday, we have MPI. We bring the best of the best securities producers and builders in our entire company, and we put them on to train you and teach you the secrets of how they built their business. And you can become a pro. We've got Scott Fletcher and Mark Drake and Ben Shepard and Eldon Larson, and his dad sometimes comes on as well to help us and help you succeed in this business. In the Field of Dreams, Burt Lancaster said, you know, we just don't recognize the most significant moments of our lives while they're happening. Back then I thought there will be other days. I didn't realize that this was the only day. So now that you know that, you're at the right place at the right time. Are you ready? What are you going to do with this? And be careful. No one fails here because they think too big. They fail because they think too small. I love what Robert Brault said. We are kept from our goal not by obstacles, but by a clear path to a lesser goal. So however big you can dream, it's probably still much smaller than what you can actually achieve here. And I just want to say as I end, at the end of the day, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now, you don't want to regret that you came to this well with a thimble when you could have come with a bucket. And I want to close with this. Someone handed me a copy of my book yesterday. Now, I have not written a book. You can't buy it. Don't ask me where I can buy this thing. It's my favorite book. It's called Book a Damn Appointment Book. People ask me all the time, Brad, what book helped you out? What book? You don't need to read a book. You need to book a damn appointment, man. And so that's got to be your mantra. Listen, we don't need a crystal ball. You don't need to go to a fortune teller to figure out if you're going to succeed here or not. You just look at your Google Calendar, because your calendar will predict your future with amazing, amazing accuracy. So when we leave here, all fired up and all pumped up, ready to change the world, remember, Monday morning is coming. Do you have your 10 appointments booked for Monday? If you fill your calendar, then you can be here on stage 3 years from now like us. Thanks for your time.
I've been gone for a little bit. I was taking care of my wife, Karen. She was dealing with breast cancer for the last 18 years. And I kind of not have been around as much as I used to be. I wanted to take care of her. We had an amazing time during that time for the last 20 years. We traveled to 70 countries. We had an amazing life. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have any regrets if I lost her. And I just lost her in January. And we were together since I was 17. I'm 67. 50 years we were together. Not married 50, but we were together for 50 years. It was an amazing time. So I just want to share a few things. One of the things that I think you need to do, you need to learn to sell. You need to learn to build. If you can do both, you'll become unstoppable. That's what our business. That's what our business is selling and building. The number one thing I look back at my career. The number one thing that allowed me to build the kind of business that I built. We have like 16,000 agents. I've been paid $100 million since I've been here. It's all because I learned how to sell. I think nobody talks about it in Primerica. I don't know why, but I think becoming a professional salesperson for me is what made building Primerica actually relatively easy for me. It wasn't really that difficult because I knew how to sell. I knew how to close. I knew how to help people say yes. That's what you have to learn how to do. Yes to the business. Yes to the products. Yes to our services. Yes to everything. You got to learn how to do that. So, anyways, I would recommend. People have been asking me, what's the one or two things I should do? Well, I think the number one thing, if I'm you, I would learn how to be a professional salesperson. The business gets fun and easy when you get there. And I know that takes some work, but I'm telling you, I did that. I listened to a series, a 12 audio series by Tom Hopkins, How to Master the Art of Selling Anything. It was 12 audios. I listened to it 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for 3 straight years. I didn't listen to music in my car. I just listened to that. So when I got in sales and I got in Primerica, honestly, it was not difficult for me. It was pretty easy, and it would be much easier for you if you had a high skill set. I recommend that you work on that. Well, first I want to congratulate all of you for making the commitment to be here, because I know for a lot of you, being here is a big commitment. It's a big financial commitment. It's a commitment to be away from your family. It's a time commitment. And I know that it's like that, and I want to commend you for being here. That's the first step. You made a decision. You're here. Now you got to take advantage of it. You have to go away from here, take what you're learning, and apply it as soon as you get back. I want you to look around. I want you to visualize. This is a huge number of people. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's 50,000 to me, but it's a lot of people. I want you to look around and visualize you having a large group like this in the future. That's what I did. I thought if someone did this, then it's possible for me to do this. And you need to take that kind of attitude. If this happened for these other people, you see all these people having all kinds of success, being paraded across the thing here. If they can do it, you can do it. It's just got to learn and do what they did. That's all it is. And there's no lack of information on how to do that. I think you need to create. I want to encourage you to focus your energy on becoming great at your business, because money follows greatness. If you look at anything in life today, whether you're an athlete, whether you're an actor, whether you're a business person, it doesn't matter what you are. The great ones make big money. So you need to focus on not being good, but being great in your business. And I promise you, money will follow you. You'll start making a lot of money. It'll become almost effortless, okay? You need to create a big vision for you and your business and life. Look, there's a life out there waiting for you that's just magical. That's unbelievable. But you know what? The problem is it takes a lot of money to have that kind of a life. So you need to figure out a way, how am I going to grow my business, make a lot of money so I can create an awesome big life for me and my family and my children and whatnot. My vision was to create a business big enough to allow me to live every day as if I was on vacation. You know, when you're on vacation, you know, it's awesome. You get up in the morning, you do whatever you want. For me, I like to go play golf, or you go on a hike, or you go to the movies, and then you go to have a great dinner. Well, I wanted to live that way every day of my life, not just when I was on vacation. One of the things I focused on doing is building a business that put off enough positive passive cash flow that I could live that kind of life. And you can do that here. That's one of the things that's amazing. I've been able to do that for over 30 years, and it's been a remarkable life. I encourage you to do that. And then make a commitment to become great at what you do. I'll say it again. Money follows greatness, okay? Don't just be good enough. Be great. You have the potential and the ability to be great. And you're totally capable of becoming great. It's going to take a commitment on your part. You're going to have to work at it. But I promise you, when you look back on your life, you're going to be so glad that you did it. I look back on my life, I am so glad that I made the commitment to be great at Primerica. And as a result of that, I've had a magical life. My daughter went to Stanford. My son went to Wharton Business School. He has his own hedge fund now. My daughter is a really successful director and screenwriter. And that would have not happened had I not got involved in Primerica and built a successful business and set an example for them. That's one of the things they did. If you have kids, I focus like crazy on setting an example for my kids so they could see what winning looks like. They're not some rock star or movie star or whatever looking up to them, but they're looking up to me because they see me winning big. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to focus on. Your kids, they deserve that. Don't doubt thank you. Don't doubt for a second your ability to create an incredible life for you and your loved ones. You are the answer to creating that life. You are. It's not outside you. It's not your upline. It's not your downline. It's you. You're responsible for that. You can do that. You know, I am so incredibly grateful for this opportunity. I am so glad that I didn't waste this opportunity. I hope you don't go home and waste this opportunity. You're going away from one of those. This is a magical event, right? I haven't been here for a while, and it's been incredible. And I want to thank you for making me feel so special and so wanted in the business. I want to thank you for that. I feel incredibly blessed. I thank God every day that He put Primerica in my path. And I'm so thankful that I did the work to make it work for me and my family. I think you need to go home. You need to go home. On your way home, if you're flying or driving, you need to put together a plan for what you're going to do when you hit the ground, when you get home. You have to have a plan. You got to make sure that you're committed to doing that. It's not going to happen overnight, folks, but it's going to be worth it 10,000 times over. Every day I get up and I do exactly what I want. I have a life it's almost so good it's embarrassing, actually, okay? And I would never have happened had I not got involved in Primerica, had I not made a decision to become a professional salesperson, if I had not made a decision to build a big base shop and get wide and train my people to be pros. Because pros get paid and amateurs get exercise, okay? So you need to become a pro at this thing. That's the number one thing that I focus on is becoming a pro and developing pros. And we've developed a lot of pros. I think we have about $20 million earners now. We're doing big numbers. It's been amazing. And I'm so thankful that I made that decision. I want you to make that decision. You've got greatness in you, whether you believe it or not. I'm telling you, you do. If you apply the kind of effort that you know you're capable of applying, you can change your life dramatically. You can go from wherever you are right now. By the time we get back here 3 years from now, you should be thinking about tripling the size of your business, tripling your income, making big income, doing something really exciting. Make a this is 36 months. Make a 36-month commitment to being your absolute best. Don't be average. Don't be ordinary. There's nothing good in being average and ordinary. You need to be great, okay? And don't be embarrassed about what you do. Be proud of what you do. I'm proud that I'm in sales. I'm proud that I've developed a sales force. I'm proud that I make a lot of money, and I save a lot of money, and I take care of a lot of people as a result of that. And you can do the same thing. You are in a rare air right now. Don't doubt it, not for a second. Make sure you go back home and you bust it, okay?